But let's go ahead and get started. I'm trying not to keep this longer than 30 minutes. We'll just go with the flow as people join in and pitch in. We'll just see where we're at. But I asked for topic suggestions a couple days ago, and the first one I got was facing a missed trade. Okay, the mindset and the mentality behind missing your trade setup, even if it was an A plus setup, a trade that you normally would have taken. And that kind of blends in with FOMO, fear of missing out, impulsiveness. And I can't remember who I was talking to, but I think I shared it on YouTube. Basically, the fear of missing out, and I had this issue yesterday when I was on my phone and I was distracted, and beautiful price run to the buy side level we had marked out, but I wasn't in it. Could have made 1.5, 2%, however much that day. Would have been nice to see my equity curve, you know, show that win, but I wasn't in that move. Everybody had great wins yesterday. A lot of wins, actually. I think yesterday was the most wins I've seen in a day shared in the Discord, which is awesome. But the mindset of missing your trade setup, that kind of just, that kind of just goes with understanding that what we do is based on algorithmic principles and its logic. So if we always trade a fair value gap between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, that's our setup. That's going to form every day, every week, as long as the markets are open. So yesterday, I missed my setup. It was clean. I wasn't in it. I told y'all we're gonna come back today, locked in, focus. I'm gonna show up early, get to the charts early, so we have time to, dial in. And win or lose doesn't matter. But ended up finishing the day in the green. Um, that's just what you have to do. You miss a trade, show up the next day. Now, if you're not mentally prepared, if you're still holding on to, you know, that grudge of missing your trade, and you're still feeling that emotion and you're still emotional, take the next day off. Take the next day off because you're going to be impulsive to try to make back that money that you missed out on the previous day. And I feel like we've all had moments where we miss out on something and we try to get that back right away, but that is no bueno. Um Trade Elite, appreciate you tuning in. I know you have a busy schedule. I know you be doing your own thing. I know you're full time and you missed the last one, but I enjoyed our conversation we had the first time, and YouTube unfortunately didn't get that first group discussion, which had a lot of gems in it. So, um, if you want, if you can, pitch in on kind of the mindset behind missing trades and really just overall just bouncing back from either a losing trade, FOMO, missing trade. Like you personally, since you're a full-time trader, I gotta ask you questions, but if you can, just give us insight on, your mental approach to losing trades and bouncing back from a red day or whatever the case may be.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, yeah, we're good, we're good.
Okay, yeah, I had to go into the settings, man. My bad, man. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about is changing your mindset. Everything that happens bad in trading is good for you. It's a lesson to be learned. Okay. If you miss a trade, if you just sit and think for a second, if you change the way you think about things, um, it's not a bad. It's bad that you missed your trade setup, and sometimes it does get into your head. Because I missed a trade setup the other day. I rushed into it, and I didn't think about it until afterwards. In hindsight, is that I rushed into another trade and I messed up. That was my fault because I didn't see the bigger picture. Why did I miss it? What was I doing? Was I following my daily schedule? How? Why did my reaction cause me to get FOMO and go into it? I look at those things. I always evaluate myself first. Anytime that something happens, change your mindset into evaluating yourself first, seeing where you went wrong, not anything of outside influence. So if you did something, or if you feel like that, dang, I got FOMO, what happened exactly? If you keep on continuing to think like, oh my gosh, I missed my trade setup, I'm angry at myself. You have to put your anger, your frustration, and all that to the side. I know that's hard to do. It's easier said than done. But one of the things that you should do is change the way you think about how you get into trades, how you do things. Like sometimes, for example, like right now, as a matter of fact, I had a red day. I actually stopped trading for the last couple of days live, and I went back into my model and I reworked it over and over and over again until I found my mistakes and where I'm weak at. And then I'm working on it now. If I have those red days like that, I stop myself. If I have those mistakes that I made where I missed my setup and rushed into it like I did, I stop myself and I change the way that I'm thinking about what I'm seeing. Instead of anger, I think about it as where can I learn my lesson at? Where's my silver lining? If I have a silver lining, I'm good. If I learn something, I'm good. The moment that you don't is when you actually set yourself back in your trading. And that's the best advice I can give about that. If you don't learn something from making a big mistake about yourself, because all this is about who you are. Trading is you have to be comfortable in your own skin. So if you don't understand who you are in trading and how you react to it, then honestly you're gonna have a hard time forever with FOMO and forever with this and that. But you just have to change the way you think.
Okay, so can I ask, like, what because I feel like most traders, especially if you're starting out, that's a mindset that you kinda have to work on and develop. But we all
Hmm.
kinda start off as impulsive. We go through a losing streak, we have a red day, a red week, shoot, a red month, and we
Yeah.
can't really, flip that switch and just say, "You know what? Imma lock in, Imma study, Imma do this, Imma do that, Imma pull back, Imma take a couple of days off." So, in your opinion, or just kind of give us a little insight, what did you do, or how did you get to the point to where as you can say, all right, I'm gonna take a few days off, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna fix this, I'm gonna correct this. So how do you get to that point instead of just saying, or resisting that urge to gamble or overtrade or over leverage? What did you do, or what did you have to go through to get to that point where you're more disciplined?
Okay. In the military, if anybody else is in the military, they'll know what I'm talking about. In the military, when they get you to boot camp, what they do is they take you apart mentally and they put you back together. That's literally what they do in the military to get you to basically, I wouldn't say become a robot, but become who you need to become when you're out in the field. Okay. Some people go into the military and break down and in boot camp. Can't make it, can't cut it, can't take it. That is some traders. Okay. You have to be just like that Marine. You just have to be just like that workout enthusiast, the person that goes to the gym and breaks down their muscles and build back up. It's going to be a repeated process of that. Knowing that should help you understand that at the end of the day, you're going to need to have your failures and build on top of those, right? Failures are like building blocks of a foundation of your home. You have to build them first. You have to lay them first. You have to lay down. You have to learn how to lose. You have to learn how to have those red months. You have to learn those days, weeks, months, right? You have to learn how to have those because and otherwise, when you do start building your house, right? If you start building your house around fake premise and you haven't lost that much and I got skills and I've never done this before, when that wind does blow, when that L does come, or those lessons that needs to be learned comes, you won't learn them. You'll breeze over as if you knew everything, you had everything under control, and you didn't. Um,
You have no foundation.
yeah, you have no foundation. It's like going into a trade with no context. Nobody's gonna do that. They're gonna have some
Yeah.
type of context in which way they go about it. The only way you can develop that is by loss, right? And I'm not saying you have to take a financial loss, but it takes a certain type of aptitude to get into trading and learn actually what's to be given. Okay. And the only way you can do that is by trading, trading your money, own money. Now you have a personal attachment to your money, so it's always going to be a little different. But I try to keep my head to say everything is the same. If I lose something here. But if I do lose, what did I learn from it? And I've lost a lot of money. Like I said, I can show you my trading things where I've bought in more challenges to probably than all of you on here combined. um and um and that's over years. Um, but you know, if you can hold that together, that concept together, I think that learning from your failures more than your successes are great because every day is going to give you something that you could utilize. You know what I mean? Every day, whether it's a bad day or whether it's a good day.
That's good. Colton, I see you're unmuted. I don't know if you want to pitch in or just ask something. I see some people typing. No, that's good though. That's good. It's like trading, we only focus on the good. We only focus on the wins and losses or the wins, but the losses are what really can make or break you. I mean, it's all, depending on how you take it. And if you're not disciplined, you're gonna wreck yourself.
Yeah, it's like looking at somebody else's analysis of the market. You going with their analysis over yours, and you literally hang yourself because it goes your way. It happens to people every single day.
Yeah,
I
I
do
had
that.
no, go ahead.
No, I do that all the time. I'm just saying I used to do that all the time, and I had to stop myself. I'd rather be wrong my way and lose my way
Oh
than to
man, that's
ever
huge.
listen to someone else, regardless if
Oh,
they have more experience, because it's the only way that I will see what they seen before me if they were right or if I was wrong. It's the
no,
only
that's
way to
huge.
learn.
We had I can't remember exactly who it was, but I mean, he sent it in the public chat room, but he basically said, Tremaine, I'm not going to subscribe to you anymore. I want to trust my own analysis. Appreciate the live streams, but I kind of want to do this on my own. And I had the utmost respect for that because sometimes that's what you need to do. I live stream and I trade in front of people, and it's a help to some, and to some people, once they feel like they're grasping it, they understand, they wanna go out and do their own thing, that's what you're supposed to do. I feel like you're not supposed to, watch live streams forever. Take the information, see how, one per and it's not just me, but whoever you're watching. Use that information, see how they're forming bias, see how they're breaking down the market. But at some point, you have to, grow your wings and take off and do your own thing. And I see so many people relying on their mentors, whether it's ICT or whoever they're learning from, and they're so scared to branch out and do their own thing. They're relying heavily on other people's analysis. They're in, 20 different Discord channels, and they're all over the place. But at some point, you have to say, you know what, even if I'm wrong, even if I'm not as profitable as I want to be, even if I can't read the market as well as this person or that person, I'm gonna do this on my own and I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna trust my own analysis. And once you do that, it may take some time before you get to where you want to be. You may have some losses, you may have some losing streaks, but you're doing it on your own and you're trusting your own analysis, and that's where you're gonna grow. So that's a major point you just made because man, like taking that leap of faith and going out and doing this on your own and kind of just leaving your mentors or whoever you're watching, leaving them behind. Man, that's really gonna take you to the next level because this is an independent journey. Nobody's gonna push the button for you. Nobody's gonna tell you when to get in, when to get out, how to move your stop. Like this is all you 100%. So man, that's huge.
Major. So let me ask you a question, and this is for anybody. Anybody that can put it in the chat. How many times have you went against your own judgment and it's failed you? I just want to see how many people that's been through that. If not everyone, has everybody been through that? You can just drop a one in the chat or something.
Yeah. I know I have.
I, I
I
can
know I
I
have.
can personally attest to that myself. Right, I've done that a million times. Right,
Man. It
so
hurts you.
what let me ask you a question. This is what I want you to think about. And this is important too. This will tell you a little bit about yourself in trading. And this is where you have to look in the mirror. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna hurt yourself. Just be 100% real. It's gonna hurt your feelings a little bit. I want you to think about your thought process. What happened in that moment when you were thinking, well, maybe there's no maybes or well. There's only decisive decisions. If you ever had a moment where you saying you're 50-50, don't trade it. If you ever have a moment when you're 50-50, don't trade it because you need to be decisive in your decision. So that information, that conversation you had with yourself is a fake out. You faked
Yep.
yourself out. That's like the opposite of FOMO that this even more harsh, like you took yourself out of that. You took yourself out of your decision process by eliminating what you think versus what's out there. And then you completely changed up from your own trading style based off of really stuff that hasn't even happened yet. It's future talk. If you lose a trade, you lose, right? If this doesn't happen, then it just doesn't happen. But if you use risk management, you do what you're supposed to do, that one situation becomes a learning situation, and you've prevailed, regardless if you lose or you win. There's really no losing in trading. I don't know if anybody really knows that. There's only expensive learning, what I'm saying, expensive lessons to be learned, right? Whether it's money or it's time, you're going to be spending some type of currency to learn this
Yep,
craft.
yep. I see a lot of people describe it as it's a tax. It's a tax on your success, and that's just not in trading, that's in everything. Every loss, little setback, blown account, drawdown, red
Mhm.
week, red month, whatever, that's a tax on your success. Everybody has to pay that tax. Nobody is exempt from it. Everybody in here, I guarantee, has lost money, blew a challenge, blew an account, whatever, like over leveraged, gambled, FOMO, like we all experience that is a tax on your success. So you have two options. You could either live in that forever and not grow, and you're just gonna mop and soap over the fact that you blew an account or you finished the week in the red or the month in the red or whatever. Or you can say, all right, it's a little setback. That was a tax. I had to pay it. Everybody pays that tax. Money, you know what I'm saying? You started the week with 10,000 in your account, you finished the week with 9,500. That's a tax on your success. It's temporary, but you're gonna make that back and it comes with time. But I mean, it's just the mindset of how you approach taking L's, how you approach setbacks, losses, because however you view it, that's gonna have a huge impact on how you move forward, and that's really gonna put, an extension on your learning curve if you're trying to become a full-time trader or if you're just trying to become profitable, period. If you don't view losses as just a simple tax on your success, you're prolonging your success, so you really have to get over that hurdle of losing, and being able to handle losses is huge.
Facts, facts. Like I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I traded all my accounts at once the other day. I lost over 20 G's
Yeah.
combined. That's with all the accounts that I had, the challenges that I had mixed in with them, my cash account, all that stuff all combined. I lost 20 G's.
It's real. That's real. But, I mean, that's a tax. Now, 20 I don't have 20 grand, but seeing your
It
trades and how
was
you
other people's
execute,
money.
you're
Let's
gonna
make
make
sure
that
we get
back.
that correct.
What? Say what?
That was other people's money. They were funded accounts, but they were funded.
Okay,
They're
okay,
funded. I paid the fees. I got it all set up. They're all good. But like between all of them, through all the accounts that I have, I lost quite a bit. It was small for each account, but it was technically in total, I lost a lot of money. So that's why I took a step back because I need to have the next day I need to have a green day. I need to have I don't need to have a red one. I need to be in the black, is what they say, I guess, right?
yeah, yeah. That's real. Colton, showing up every day, losing months, I have to show up and work on myself. That helped me focus on how to control myself, doing everyday disciplines like running or going to the gym. Oh, that's another good thing. Colton, I don't think you were in that second discussion we had, but we talked about the importance of either having a routine or doing something, a hobby, something outside of trading that can just get you locked in. Because if your whole life is just trading, you don't do anything outside the markets, you don't have a hobby, you don't have a routine, you can kind of either get burned out or just overwhelmed. So last week we talked about the importance of just having a simple routine or whatever it is that you do. So I just want to ask you, is there anything that you do as a routine or any hobbies you do outside of trading to take your mind off the charts and kind of just get refocused going into the new week?
Living your life outside the market is very important. It's highly important. Trading, I'm telling you, listen, trading will develop you in multiple areas of your life because it shows you what's really important. Okay. Um, the charts are major. They're a major part of who you can develop to become, whether you believe it or not. Everything that you do here reflects that everything you do outside. How you treat yourself and how you think is how you think about most things. And the market is a reflection of who you are, how you treat it, and how you think about it. Because it can only teach you lessons about who you are. And I know that's a little crazy. It might sound a little different, but I'm getting ready to explain. For example, my man said he got depressed. I can more or less guarantee that it affected you in more areas than just your trading. It affected you in the way you looked at your day, or what you were doing with your friends, how you were outside of that, were you actually enjoying yourself? And you have to draw limits and lines, because in life, if you don't have some type of boundary, some type of understanding of that, then you will eventually find yourself in a state of depression or anger or frustration, and you feel like you're in this cloud of misunderstanding or not understanding what's going on because you allow yourself to. My morning routine, I wake up, my kids are getting ready for school, they doing their thing. The first thing I do is I just, go wash my face, brush my teeth, get all ready, and then I come down and get me a cup of coffee. And then I sit at my desk, I look at the news first. I don't look at my charts, I look at the news, right? And then I say, okay, let me go look at my charts now. I draw my daily charts, my swing highs, swing lows, previous day highs, previous week lows, I do all that. Then I sit before I even make my assessment, and I drink that cup of coffee, and I sit there and I wait. Um, how you wake up is how you start. How you start your day is typically how you finish, right? Um, so I try to keep my mind clear of everything, and I try to make sure that I take my time. Like, for example, I took those L's this weekend. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dedicate only a few hours to trading, learning, relearning my ERL to IRL, making sure that I have a good grasp of what I did, because I messed up. I lost on one of my challenges. I lost actually one that was actually funded, and one that was actually what's the name on that $20,000 loss. I took a L, right? So I'm gonna have to reevaluate myself. And was I rushing? Did I not look at my A plus setup? We had this discussion in the public chat. I'm like, I did something wrong here. You know what I'm saying? Like something was wrong today. You know, and I assessed myself harshly. But this weekend, I'm like I said, I'm gonna dedicate a few hours to it. But then, other than that, I'm probably gonna be with my family. I'm probably gonna be outside, and I'm gonna try to relieve myself from not thinking about trading whatsoever. Fucking ever. Oh, excuse my language. Whatsoever. Um,
Nah, you're good.
whatsoever. Because I know if I do, my main thoughts are gonna be, how can I get better? What should I do? What should I be looking at? Let me go study this. My hobbies outside of trading is information. I love to study. I love to see something, like something new. Love to learn something new. My mentality is that if I'm not learning something, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything. So I love to seek new information, right? Or I'll go play basketball. I used to do that a lot. I'll go to the gym. I do that very rarely now because I work out at home a little bit. I don't really go to the gym anymore, and I can't jog anymore. I used to jog, I used to run a mile and a half, almost 2 miles every single day, every morning. Can't do that anymore because of my back. But my point is that you find something outside of it, because if you don't, you'll drive you crazy. Because the only thing you're going to be thinking about is, I wonder if that, I wonder if ES is going to take that swing high, that weekly swing. You know what I mean? I should be marking up my charts. If you mark up your charts on the weekend, stop doing that. If you want to study some material, but don't mark up your charts. It'll kill you, man. It'll kill you mentally. I promise you. Because if you get it wrong during the week, you're gonna be like, I wasted all that time. You're thinking about the time you spent. Um, and your time you need to be studying is the time inside your week. So if you want to take a couple hours on the weekend, cool. If you want to look at a few videos that you mark that you really don't have time to because they're 45 minutes long or they're an hour long, cool. Watch them on the weekend, or while you kicking back at night, on the weekends. But don't do anything on the weekends considered trading or getting into trading, because if you get on your charts, it will consume you, because there's nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing you can do. You can mark up your charts, but there's nothing. The market's not open. And so until Sunday happens, you'll be sitting here waiting patiently. And really, honestly, marking up your charts on Friday for Monday, or for Sunday night or Monday, is no use, because the information is incorrect. To be honest, I don't know about you if you feel the same way, but if you mark up your charts on Friday afternoon or whatever, or Saturday, whatever, and you're looking for stuff on the next week, that information is incorrect. The start of the week has to start because I can tell you what, 9 times out of 10, that opening gap is going to be in the opposite direction of what you thought that the market was going to go. 9 times out of 10.
I don't even look at the charts. I mean, I'll go over, my trades that I took throughout the week or whatever. And I tell people this all the time. If you had a bad week or you blew an account or whatever, the and this can go both ways, but this is how I feel. If you spend your entire weekend just submerged in the charts, that can hurt you. Like people ask me, what can I do to, get over losing trade, losing week? I blew an account. What do I do? I tell them first, like, go into your weekend and really use your weekends to do something else because you're like we're human. You need to give your brain a break. Trading is very high frequency. We're dealing with money. That's all we do. Profits, loss, dollar signs, wins, losses, make money, lose money. Like it's instant feedback. As soon as we push that button, we can see how much we're making or how much we're losing. And you have to give yourself a rest going into the weekend. So I tell people either use all of Saturday to just chill, go hang with your family. Like you said, go play basketball, go do a hobby. I see somebody in the chat saying before they met ICT, they used to go out and enjoy their life. Then, after studying ICT and they're stuck in the room. But now he's getting into swimming. Go swimming, do something. Now, don't get me wrong, you do have to take time to go over your trades, study, because that's how you improve. You need that. But if you from the start of Saturday all the way to Sunday night, if you're doing nothing but, reliving your losses, reliving that blown account, and you're submerged in the charts, that could do more harm than good because you didn't give your brain a break to refocus and get locked in. You didn't give your family any time. You didn't want to go out with your friends and have fun, get loose, which is no problem. But if you're really stuck in your own head, you have to give your brain a break. So, I mean, hobbies, having something to do outside of trading, like when done in moderation, obviously don't go crazy and not give the charts any of your time because you have to work on a skill set. It's a craft. But man, just having something to do outside of the charts, it's a necessity. Like you have to have that. But I wanted to go back to what you said about trading affecting your day because this is huge. Yesterday, um, I felt like it was an easy day. We had an easy setup and doing something that I normally don't do, which is being on my phone. I had a lot of drama, whatever going on, personal stuff like we all do. And I'm texting on my phone, looking at messages or whatever. By the time I look up, I missed my entry, trade panned out, and that was it. That day, and I'm human, that day, I'm feeling some type of way. And that carries on, like you said, outside of the charts. So I close my laptop, going on about my day, and the energy is off. I'm not actively consciously thinking about what happened in the market, how I missed my setup, how I missed my trade, how I missed out on money or whatever. But the energy is off. I'm feeling like, you know what? Like I just don't feel like being all happy and giggly. Like it's just like I was caught slacking today. And that's Man, that's important because if trading has that much control over your personal life, like that's a toxic relationship. If you lose in the market and your whole day is ruined, that's a toxic relationship. If you win in the market, it goes both ways. If you win in the market and all of a sudden you treating people right, you smiling, you want to go call your homie, like you want to go hang out, you want to do this and do that. Trading has That's a toxic relationship. That's not healthy. So I want to kind of go back to that, kind of touch on that, and not letting trading have such a role, in your personal life.
My next question is this is for you. What did you learn from that? In that time, because this is going to be important for everybody else. I know you. I don't want you to go and dive into your personal information, your personal life. Just say personal, right? But when that was going on, what was the first thing that you thought about afterwards? Did you say I let my personal life affect my business life, and my business life affect my personal? What did you learn there? What was the
Can I
what
say
was the thing that you have to do now that
can I
that
say
you know that
something
you didn't
before he
learn
answers
before?
your question?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say something small and regarding that. It's just all about like we gotta be able to control our emotions. And like you guys are saying, man, controlling emotions is not in the charts, it's outside of the charts. So if you could get a hold of your emotions and you stop picking up these things, like you said, you know what it does to you when you lose and when you win. Now this is the work. supposed to be doing over the weekend, not really in the charts like you said, but just keep meditating, whatever you can do to just get a hold of your emotions. Oh, go ahead. Sorry about that. That's what I wanted to say on that.
And I agree.
Managing our
I agree
emotions.
and I agree and disagree with that. A lot of people think that we can control our emotions. That's not actually true. You actually never control your emotions. You actually make decisions and set them aside because you either internalize your emotions or you project your emotions. It's
Right, right. That's why it's a process. Like how the process, the routine that you go through before you get in a trade is the same way. You have to put your emotions. You know, I mean, you have to put your emotions real close to you. Understand if I make this decision, this is what would happen. And if I make this decision, this is what would happen. So you have to be able to handle those emotions regarding a decision you make, because you can make a decision and you lose. You know what I mean? So now you have to be able to handle those emotions that affect you when you lose your.
facts.
No, I heard a quote that said, I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were talking about decision making and they're saying the decision you make doesn't matter. And at first I was like, that doesn't make sense because they're talking about the power of making
Man,
decisions
I
and
already
making
know what
business
you're about
moves
to
and all
say.
that. Right? They're saying the decision you make doesn't matter. That doesn't hold much weight. And the quote went, it's not whether or not you made the right or wrong decision, but you have to make the decision right. So they said, make a decision, but make it right. So, and that kind of goes with emotions. We can't control our emotions. We're human. We feel things. You could be the most profitable trader in the world. I don't care. If you take a loss, if you blow an account, you're going to feel that. You're not numb to it. Nobody's immune to taking a loss. But what you can do is kind of just you just have to know your boundaries. You have to know yourself, and we talk about that a lot. Like, if you don't know what can wreck you, if you don't know that you're impulsive, everybody says they're patient. People who aren't even traders say they're patient, they're disciplined, then they get in this industry, and the market shows, like you said, it's a mirror. The market shows you you're not as patient as you thought you were. You thought you could control your emotions. You thought you had everything under control, but you get in here and you're reckless. So, man, that's so big, and I agree with that. You can't really control your emotions, but I mean, all we try to do is try to suppress it and not let our emotions take over. But man, that's huge.
It's actually
And
and
I'll be on Front Street just to
and just
finish up the conversation. And the main reason why I'm here because I'm struggling with my patience and my discipline, right? And, I mean, I see the charts, right? I see what I want, and you know what I mean. But my patience and discipline are off. You know what I mean? So, and that's the main reason why,
okay.
because I like your passions and discipline. So you gotta find a reason or a purpose why you're doing something. You know what I mean? So that's so it's helping me control my emotions when I'm being patient and get some more self discipline by being around a disciplined trader that only take one trade a week and tell you know what I mean. So that really helped me out the last couple of weeks. Now, as far as just being patient and being disciplined, understanding the whole situation. So my emotions are now even compared to where my emotions were at when I get into these ups and downs of the market. Is my patience. Thank you.
Yeah, patience, man. Gotta have it, especially in this industry.
And I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you what something's major about this. And this is like I was gonna finish this crazy. If you know yourself, you know that, hey, I'm impatient, right? But you can follow rules. You have a checklist of information that you know you need to follow in order to do it. The best thing you can do is make a rule for yourself, make rule or rules for yourself in order to engage who you are. That's what trading is making rules around who you are and how you see things. That's why everybody has their own spin to ICT or SMC or how they look at things or how they do things, is because those rules are based off of who they are, not who you are. These rules are going to be there's hard set rules like fair value gaps, order blocks, stuff like that. That's not going to change, right? What's going to change is how you perceive those, how you take those steps towards it, your process in which you make your decision that you have to live with. Now, it's like this. if you knew tomorrow that this would be your last time trading, you get to make $1 million trade, right? This is your last trade you're ever gonna make. You gotta realize, man, you would watch the steps that you would take. It would not only be based on your emotions, but you will watch how you do it, regardless of if you're impulsive, regardless if you're impatient, regardless of everything else. You would take your time and make your decision, as my man said, it's the right way, right? You would take that process seriously, and you would make sure that you hit H check mark. If you can do that, your emotions, your impatience, whatever it is that you have, it won't matter, because you're not focused on, am I right? Is this? Oh, let me get into this. Let me get into this. You're focused on not the money. You're not focused on anything else but the process. Okay, I got my 15-minute fair value gap. I know where my draw on liquidity is on my higher time frame. Okay, I see my market structure shift. I got that. Okay, boom. What am I looking for? Okay, now I'm looking for my entry. Okay, I got my entry here. I got my stop loss here, and I'm going for my 2R here.
Yep.
Enter.
Yep. That's
Leave it
it.
alone.
That's it. That's it. Like I
You
said,
know
it's
what I
not the
mean?
decision you make. Everybody makes, like, we've seen multiple instances where you would go short, somebody go long, and y'all both made money. It's not the decision. But make the decision right. Did you control your risk management? Did you control your stop loss placement? Did you, stick to your rules as far as taking profit? The decision is just half the pushing the button is just half the work in trading. Everybody knows. Everybody can get in here, buy and sell, push a button. That's easy. That's a decision. That's not what's important. Making the decision right, controlling your stop loss, when to move your stop loss to break even. Are you following your trading plan? That's how you make your decision right, and that's how you stay in the game. But man, it's already been like 45 minutes. We're just gonna like talk about two more things. We'll get off of here. I know some people have to go, but oh man, where was I at? I want to have a little, just touch on a little bit because it would be foolish to have a full time trader in here and not ask some questions related to full time trading because I feel like we all want to get to that point eventually. So you said earlier that you're more motivated. I think you said this yesterday. You're more motivated because you have bills, and all that thing. I know you have different business, avenues that you're in. I know you said you're in real estate and things like that, but can you kinda touch on the pressure or if there is any pressure as far as meeting your bills, meeting your, expenses when it comes to having a red week, and
Yeah.
kind of just address that from 2 different ways, right? So, obviously, you have different revenue streams, so kinda address it from that point of view, but also somebody who may not have that. They may trading as their main source of income, they just had a red week, and they got rent due on the 1st. So, if you kinda touch on that, just kinda the mindset of being a full-time trader, having a red week, but still having bills coming in, and just kinda add and, touch on
Uh,
that.
Understanding finances outside of trading, just to say, I have revenue, finances. Um, you have to be prepared to lose, right? In any way, it's called a contingency. I have contingencies. So I have money set to the side. Like this month, I'm not going to be able to pull, 20K. I'm probably only going to be able to pull like five. My bills are less than five, but okay. You know what I mean? What am I going to do about the rest of the month? Because I got to have money to spend. So I got a credit card. I have money in my savings. I'm good, right? But you got to understand your finances. You got to understand where you s- where your threshold minimum of, I've and I'm gonna say it, I fucked up. I have to do something in order to maintain myself. You have to know where you're at. You got to know where you stand. So I'm standing at a point to where I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to use my credit card this month, and I'm gonna have to pay back. But that's the reason why that credit card even exists. You know what I mean? It's for emergency expenses that I can't afford at the time. Then I'm waiting on another payout or waiting on this, and I never use it. So that's what I'll be using this month. Now I do have cash savings, but I'm not crazy. I know better. I'm going to use credit, and I'm going to let the credit pay for itself. Okay, so I'm gonna buy me another funded account, or I'm going to put some money into another account, and I'm going to trade that money up, or you know what I'm saying, hopefully up, not down, and then I'll let it pay for itself while I'm currently paying my bills, right? Because it's a pretty large credit card. So it'll balance itself out. And then plus, you know, I actually made a deal the other day. So it, you know, with the loan, because I do loans for uh real estate. So if you need like a real estate loan as far as getting in and out of a house, construction on a house, anything, that's what I do on the side, and I also fix and flip. But regardless of everything, if you're gonna do this, you got to know where you stand at. You have to make a plan. You have to have contingencies, and you have to talk to your partner too. If you like, I have a wife, a girlfriend. She knows. Like, I sit down with her once a month, and I go and I say, listen, this is where we're at. This is what I need to know. Like, you know, like, do you have any extra expenses this month? Do you want to do something? You want to, like, this summer, we're not going to actually take a vacation. We're going to move, and we'll take a vacation then technically, but we're going to wait until then to actually do it right before school. So, um, you know, it's all about that portion of what you do. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. And if you plan and you fail, you succeeded, because you knew exactly where you stood at, and you knew where you needed to move, because things are always going to change. Regardless of if you're doing good in trading or bad in trading, things are always going to change. So you got to know where you stand at, where you're financially strong at. If you're financially weak, then you need to prepare yourself for no money. Okay. That means that you need to tell your partner, or you need to figure out an extra hustle until this works out. Because I literally did this for a year before I started getting, like, actually paid on it. Like, I lost money. I didn't make not a dime, and I kept on trading. I kept on going. I kept on going, and I lost so much money. And I was like, it's all going to come back. I just have to keep going forward. And then I eventually started making money. And then when I started eventually making money, I started seeing like, oh yeah, I can do this. Okay, let's go. And then it obviously progressed forward. So you just gotta make a plan. And if the plan fails, that's okay. But not having one at all is like not trying at all. You got to know where you stand. If anything, if you're going to be a full-time trader, if you're going to be a full-time trader with hustles, you got to know where you stand. Make a financial plan, and then make investments. This money, I promise to you, do not take all the money and put it in your pocket. Make investments, because that's the only way you'll be able to get your money out of your real money out of trading. So let's say you eventually start getting $20,000, $30,000 months. If you take that money, you're paying a lot of money, a lot of tax on that money. So it's important to learn corporations, trust, you know, different things, so you can utilize that too as well. Because trading is not just about making the money. It's actually doesn't even it's not even about making money. It's about following a process that will ensure a future, right? You can make $10 today, but that $10 eventually turns into 20. That $20 eventually turns into 100. That 100 eventually turns into 1,000, and then so forth and so on. So if you're gonna do it, learn finance. Get in touch with a lawyer. Pay him $150 to sit down and talk to him about how these things go. You know, when it comes to that, can you open a corporation and get tax incentives, and also as well as lines of credit? How you do that? Talk to an attorney. Do not talk to any of these fake gurus online. Like, a lot of the stuff like that can help you when making decisions, whether you want to become a full-time trader, whether you want to, you know, have that and a side hustle. You have to know these things. That would be the biggest thing about becoming a full-time trader. If you don't know these things, stop. Don't do it yet. Don't do it, because I'm telling you, the worst decision you can make is be on the charts like I was last week, feeling like I failed, and then have to go back, because I did. I lost a lot of money, and I had to go back and reassess where I made my mistake at, because I'm like, man, my bills about to come up next month, and I'm running low on my cash, like my cash value, because all my cash is wrapped up in investment. So now I have to go back, and I had to say, I'm cash poor. Where do I need to put my cash from? Well, I got my credit card, and then I have my savings, my little rainy day fund. So I'm good, but I need to slow down, because it's not about making the money. It's about doing the process the right way, and the money will come. So slowing
Yeah.
down sometimes works too as well. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else. I mean, that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah, no, that's good. And you said a few things. We're gonna save it for the next discussion, but I wrote it down. Talking about how you sit down with your partner and go over, finances. So next week, I want to get into trading and
Can
being
I
in a
say something
relationship or
real quick
having a
because
partner and the good and bad that comes with that. Yeah, go ahead.
I
What's
was
that?
just like you said, wrapping it up on what my man was saying, man. It's everything he said is right, man. And you got to understand you are an individual person, so you got to keep figuring yourself out. It's all about becoming better. When you're trading, figure out where you need to get better at. What did you do wrong last week and just start working on that. And on top of that, we are always in the charts, but what we're doing in the charts should also translate to our personal life, our life outside of just, of the charts. You want to be becoming a better person every day. If you really want this process to have a little bit of like, to be a little more soft on you. But if you getting better with the charts and you're not getting better with life, man, things are not gonna balance out. So just it's all about getting better. So just get better every day in the charts and get better every day as a person. That's my thing. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's right. No, it's an ebb and flow. You gotta have that balance. You can't be patient in life. You get in the markets and you're impulsive. Like it's who you are outside of the market is who you are inside of the market and vice versa. If you're gambling, if you're impulsive and you're reckless in the market, you're probably like that outside in the real world. So it's a balance. But we're gonna wrap this up. Trade Elite, Patrick, appreciate you tuning in. I know we missed you on the last one, but it's really good. I'm sure YouTube will find a lot of value in this. But like I was saying, you touched on, having a partner, and I feel like that's a huge thing in trading because most times I feel like 99% of the time we don't have a partner who is in the same industry. Most people who are trading, their partner doesn't trade. They don't know anything about the markets. They're not in here like we are. And I feel like that's a huge thing. So I'm going to say that for the next discussion. And then you said real quick, you said like gurus, learning from gurus, and how that can hurt you. But we're going to say that for next week. Real quick, since I am posting this on YouTube, I kind of just want to give them one last gem, if you don't mind. If you could real quick, and this we're already pushing an hour, but if you could real quick list three, how should I say, if you could, and all the people out there listening who want to become a full-time trader or who just want to make more money from trading, but let's focus on going full-time. If you could give just 3 steps, 3 bullet points, boom, 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 and I know that may be a little, too much to ask, but 3 steps to become a full-time trader, if you had to start over again, what would you do? What would you do if you had just getting started out? Let's say you're already profitable. Let's say you got through that part where you're blowing accounts and all that, you're profitable. What is your steps to becoming a full-time trader? If you could just give us a quick rundown for people listening later on.
Understand your finances and talk to your partner. That's number one. If you don't have that in line, people won't understand who you are. And regardless if they don't understand, try to explain it to them. I mean, that's number one. And if they don't get it, if they still have, as long as you still have their blessing, because if you have anything outside force telling you no, I can't do this, whatever's going on, no, this is not for me, then your trading will suffer. Number two, understand it's not about the money, it's about the process. The more you understand about your process and understand about yourself, you will prevail. And the third and last thing is that if you can't be honest with yourself about who you are, I recommend you don't ever trade. Those are the 3 things I would tell people if they wanted to become a full-time trader, because these things are enveloped around one big, I would guess to say one big bullet point. Who you are is a reflection of yourself in the market. And your environment is going to either push you forward or it's going to hold you back. So if you don't do those 3 things, if you don't know those 3 things about yourself and have those in line, your finances and your partner, you're defining your process and doing everything you're supposed to do inside that process and knowing yourself, it's no reason to trade, because you will always find yourself at the mercy of somebody else's information, somebody else in your family, contradictions, distractions. And to be honest, it will never get better from there. It can only get worse, because all those things are working against you. And to be honest, it'll destroy a person. You'll get depressed. You'll have outside problems, problems inside the business, and it won't never move in your benefit.
That's good. I appreciate it. I'm sure somebody got something out of that. I know you're talking to somebody, but I appreciate everybody tuning in. I know everybody has their own schedule. I know you guys are in other servers, and some of y'all are at work. Some of y'all are probably still trading, but we had some people tune in here and there, leave, come in, but this whole thing is gonna be recorded. I'm gonna trim it, crop it, and get that on YouTube soon. But Patrick, appreciate you, man, coming on.
No
I know you
doubt.
didn't have to do this, but we love hearing, love learning, because we're all trying to get to the point where we can do this full time. And next week, I've written down some things that you said, relationships and trading. And then last, you also said, the environment that's around you. I feel like the environment that's around you and your surroundings, the people you hang with, the energy that surrounds you also affects your trading. But we're going to save that for next week. Like I said, we're already over an hour. But appreciate you, man. Appreciate everybody joining in, taking some time out. Hope y'all found this helpful, insightful. Like I said, we do this every Friday. It's important to just sit down with the trading community and have these talks, man. Trading isn't just all pushing buttons, making money. It's deeper than that. It's psychology, and it's mental. It's a mental game. It's a battle with yourself. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Again, Patrick, appreciate it, man.
No doubt, brother.